Welcome, everyone. My name is Nathan Brennan, and on the other side, we have Katie Prendergast, and we are both certified online trainers through the Online Trainer Academy. And as us as online personal trainers, we both kind of have similar groups who we work with. So we both work with hikers, outdoor enthusiasts. Specifically, Katie, she works with a lot of skiing, snowboarding athletes, especially if you got some fun plans this coming winter. Katie is your go-to to help you get ready to get fit and strong for the mountains this winter. So over this period we have here today is we're going to be doing a 10-minute video of showing some creative exercises to help activate or stronger your quads, so that when you're doing your hiking or upcoming skiing or snowboarding, it's going to help you to, one, have better balance, injury prevention, and better core activation. So we're going to have Katie's gym in the background to show some exercises to kind of help you get strong. So welcome aboard, Katie.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Nathan. Yeah, like you were saying, Nathan works primarily with hikers. I work with hikers, skiers, snowboarders. And so strengthening your quads is really important for all of those activities. So we're going to show you guys some exercises, and I've got some stuff that we can demo here. And what do we want to start with? The step downs. All right. So let me know if you can still hear me while I'm back here. With the step down, we want to use kind of a low platform. I'm using a bumper plate. You could use like a sturdy stack of books at home. You could use a low step. The plyo box that I have is a little bit tall for this exercise for my skill level, so I'm not going to use it, but any like elevated surface, I'm going to tap that heel down in front while focusing on keeping this heel down. What that's going to do is load a lot through your quads and help strengthen. We're also working on balance here and some hip stability. So you do like 10 to 20 reps there. If you're able to do much more than that, we probably want to start using a higher box. So that was the first one I've got for you guys. You were telling me some of your favorites. You want to talk about a couple of those?
Yeah, so one of the ones I like is, just so you know, as personal trainers, we have to recertify every couple of years to kind of keep up with our continuing education. And one of the things that I specialize is TRX training. So a lot of the clients who come to me don't need to have this equipment, but if they do, it's the TRX. It stands for Total Resistance Exercise. So basically what the TRX is, it's a type of suspension straps you're using your own body weight to help you for, gain your strength, core stability, and so forth. So one of the exercises that I like for quads is the TRX single leg squat. And the reason why is single leg training has been found a lot of benefits for, again, quad strength, balance, and also, again, core activation as well. Since a lot of us as athletes, we need to develop that single leg training, for, if you're coming hike and you're going up, down a mountain, or even kind of on the slopes, and just having that strong strength in the quad region.
Yeah, single leg squat's a good one, especially like you just said, like you're coming down the mountain is almost always the hardest part on your joints absorbing that force. So the single leg squat is a good one, supported with the TRX. Cool. So then the second exercise that I gotta grab a mat that I was gonna show you guys is gonna be sissy squats. So these you might not be familiar with, but I like them because I know, we're still going through a bit of a pandemic. Not everyone's back in the gym yet. These are something that you can do at home without any equipment, really. I'm just using an elevated surface and an ab mat to cushion my knees, and I'll show you guys why as I demonstrate. So what I'm going to aim to do here is push my knees forward and aim my hips back. And this is really getting a lot of load and stretch into the quad muscles. And I'm stand back up. So if these are pretty hard for you, the solution is just using a higher box as a target. And then we're trying to control it down and stand back up. And kind of like when you're going down a mountain, like there's a lot of eccentric force going into your legs. So this is mimicking absorbing that force and strengthening your quads. You're also going to get some balance and core work there. So that's one of my go-tos for hiking, skiing, snowboarding, and just general leg strength. Then you have that list. What was our other one?
Yeah, we also had the split squats.
Yep. So these are kind of like Nathan was saying, the single leg squats. They're going to be like an intermediate between doing a squat like normal, regular, and doing a single leg one. So what you do is you just take your one leg back. We want to think train tracks, not balance beam. And I'll go from the side so you can see. Once I'm on my train tracks, I'm going to bring my knee down to the ground and come back up. Again, this is getting a lot of load through your quads to strengthen that muscle there. And you could load this up a bunch of different ways. You could hold dumbbells, you could hold kettlebells, you could even do it with a barbell wrapped across your back, or you could wear a backpack. So lots of different loading options for the exercise. And you just want to make sure you're getting that knee all the way down to the ground, so you're working through a full range of motion. Oh, I did have one more. This one is a little unconventional. You might not be familiar with it. If you're going to a gym, they have leg extension machines, which are great because our quads get strong when we do this movement of squeezing here. But you can't really do that at home without a machine. So what I like to do is we start in a tabletop, and then I'm going to extend that. And you could totally go through this and be like, that's super easy, I don't feel anything. But what you want to make sure you're doing is actively squeezing your legs when you straighten them, so that you're getting that quad activation. And if you have any bands at home, you can add resistance to it by placing that band right behind your knees. So that's going to make it a lot harder. A couple lifts there for you guys. That was all I had on my exercise list. And then there was one other tip that you had that was really good. I'll bump it back to you, Nathan.
Yeah, so as you mentioned Katie doing through these exercises, those are really kind of creative ways to kind of think outside the box. A couple that comes to mind for me, again, I love single leg training. So if you ever do like a wall sit, if you're rehabbing from an injury, or if you're just at the gym, you see in the traditional wall sit, you have your back against the wall and you're going down to your knees, 90-degree angle from the feet from the ground. I always like to kind of do one leg off the ground and having that foot fully extended. So this was kind of my foot, my kind of leg, I'm just fully extended there. Or a modification you can do is if you can't hold the leg off the ground for a certain length of time, you can put the other foot on top of the one that's on the ground doing that single leg wall sit. For single leg wall sits, or for a good amount of time, I always, for beginners, 30 seconds and then per set. And then you kind of build yourself up to 45 seconds to 60 seconds. And you'll notice that you're working on that strength, you're activating that quad muscles, because again, really important to get the strength in there to help you, especially doing these hikes and you're going down the mountain. It's so crucial, especially we want to make sure the knees are aligned. I always kind of look at it, an example I teach my clients is, think like your kneecaps are like headlights to a car. Now, when you're driving at night, the headlights don't, point in or out, they're facing straight. So the goal is when you're doing, a squat or a wall sit, you want to make sure that those knees are facing straight. They're not kind of wobbling in or out. And they're think of like their headlights as to kind of keep them stable as well. That's one that I like a lot. Another one is I'm a big proponent of resistance bands, especially like mini resistance bands. you can put around the mini bands, and you can do just a regular kind of squat with them. And Katie's going to show right here how to do this. So that's the mini band. So you want to put those just right above your knees. I recommend doing it. So she's going to actually demonstrate it here.
Yeah, you can keep talking through it. I'll just do
So basically, you're just going to, as she's going down, she's keeping that, her knees are not caving in. They're kind of, pressing out. But they also work your glutes as well. Your glutes are those big hip muscles in your back. And so the key thing is, again, keeping those knees like that. They're like the kneecaps, like headlights of your car. And again, you're just working on lower leg strength. And also when you're doing the squat up and down, you also get to use your core a little bit as you get up. So again, I'm a big proponent of those. They're super useful if you're traveling, or at home. So they're really kind of budget friendly way to train. And so thanks for the example there, Katie.
Yeah, I think that set is Perform Better is the company, and they have like a light, medium, heavy that you can get for $20 on Amazon. So they're super affordable. Well, cool. One other thing that I wanted to mention is like, I get asked a lot, should I do lightweight, high rep, high weight, low rep? So I wanted to talk about that a little bit. The best answer is you want to do a little bit of everything, right? So if we're talking about like, squats and deadlifts, we could do that in like an 8 to 12 rep range with moderately heavy weights. And then some of the body weight stuff I've demonstrated for the band squats, we might do a little bit lighter weight or no weight, just our body weight for higher reps. So that we're talking anywhere like 10 to 20, maybe 25 reps of like the box step downs, the leg extensions from that tabletop position, like the TRX single leg squats that you were talking about, Nathan. And then you were recommending like 30, 45, 60 seconds for the single leg wall sits as well. So that should kind of give you an idea of how to use those in a workout.
Yeah, definitely. So those are some good recommendations as you kind of do those. Now the Perform Better mini bands, I highly endorse those. Those are the ones I personally use. And you want to get a pack of those. Usually if you're, I have them here, I'm not in front of me, but the lightest one is going to be that yellow, is that kind of lighter resistance. And then it kind of goes to a green color as the next higher resistance level. And then it goes to a blue and black. Again, there's different manufacturers that make, different resistance. So you got to be, mindful if you're going to Perform Better, that's going to be different than another kind of manufacturer makes mini bands. So just to keep that in mind if you're going to buy some mini bands and kind of know their colors.
Yeah, they color code them differently, but pretty much every set comes with like a range of lightish, medium-ish, heavy. So that's a good way to progress too. Like you don't need to start with the heaviest band, you can start with the yellow band, work up to green, then blue, then black eventually. So it's a good way to progress your workouts. And then the other piece of equipment you're recommending is TRX. So I can't get it entirely on camera because it is hooked up to the ceiling, but this is what Nathan was talking about. So the straps are attached to my ceiling and you can use them to sit down into a single leg squat. That's what that one looks like. But yeah, and those are all body weight options, basically. You don't need to have a fancy gym setup for any of that stuff, right?
Yeah. Another one I would kind of throw in there is, again, if we go back to the wall sit, again, if you're just, that's another basic one, and just kind of doing, starting from there, if you can't do single leg as well. So again, the key thing is just kind of progression. And so when you're doing, when you're doing some of these exercises, yeah, they're really good and they really are helpful, but you want to make sure that as you start an exercise program, you want to get clearance from your medical healthcare provider as well, so that you're able to clear, and there's any other joint issues that any of these exercises cause pain, make sure to kind of back off, because we want to be mindful of some of those, everyone's got other history of injuries and so forth. But again, as you start these exercises or any workout program, make sure you get clearance from your healthcare provider along the way.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're both trainers, but we're not doctors. So if there's any pain or history of injury, definitely get clearance from either your physical therapist or your doctor, and kind of listen to your body as you're doing the exercises. If it feels like too much, like my advice is always deload first. So if you have 50 pounds and it hurts, try 30 pounds. If it feels better, cool. If not, keep lightening the load. You might work down to body weight before an exercise feels okay, and that's fine. Like, just build back up from there.
Definitely.
So, I don't know, think of any other questions that come up when people ask you about hiking?
Yeah, I think kind of the key thing is that, with hiking is, as we're talking about like quads, a lot of times like people, when they're starting something like this, they don't want to get injured on the trail. And so that's what they kind of come to me is maybe they haven't done any kind of, it doesn't have to be hiking. I mean, if we talk in your case, Kay, there's going to be some, avid ski, or snowboarders that are wanting to do this. And it's so important to get on this right now, because the next thing you know it, winter's going to come and you want to be able to prepare for those exciting trips and events you got. So now as we kind of come to a close here, as us as coaches, we're always here to provide information, help. And so if you have, any questions, we're more than happy to answer those, or you can private message us here, and we can able to answer questions. I know Katie kind of has a kind of resource she uses for, especially for skiers or snowboarders. If you want to talk more about that.
Yeah. So I have a PDF guide training around pain and injury. So most of the people I work with, they want to be out. They want to be hiking, skiing, snowboarding, whatever, like enjoying the outdoors. And the last thing you do, like Nathan said, is get hurt on the trail. But like even more than that, you don't want to get hurt in the gym and then affect your recreation, right? So it's just a guide with some tips and tricks to train around injury and also help avoid getting hurt while training for the stuff that you love to do. So that's available. You can find it through my Instagram account at KPX Fitness, or if you send me a direct message, I can email it to you directly. So if you don't have an Instagram account, so that's what I would check out. It's a 10 or 12 page guide with some recommendations for full body stuff, not just legs. So pressing, pulling, squats, deadlifts, and just like exercise variations that can help train around an injury if you have one and prevent injury if you don't. You want to keep you that way.
Thank you. That was really good. I like that. I would go check out her Instagram handle, KPX Fitness. There's some really, really good content she shares. And it's just amazing. She keeps it really, really simple. And I love her content she posts there, and also here on Facebook. Now, if you want to follow me, I have my group here at the Summit Fit Project, or you can also find me on YouTube at Nathan Brennan. I will provide links to that here in the group, where I share my upcoming hiking adventures or ones I've done in the past at national parks, state parks, and some other kind of tips there. So since I'm always kind of the person to help you get ready for the venture and have that visual how I did it, and make sure that you do it safe and also enjoyable to keep yourself fit and strong.
Yeah, awesome. I also being a hiker myself, find it fun to check out what other people are doing. So it's always cool to follow along with someone else's adventures, add to the bucket list.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. And we were also talking before this. I know Nathan is currently taking on people if you want any personalized attention. Everything that we shared here is pretty generalized. So if you have any like personal questions or concerns or want individualized help, he's helping out hikers for the fall. And I will be enrolling people for ski and snowboard training for the upcoming winter season. So definitely reach out if you guys need any help with that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so this is kind of what we have for today. And again, comment below what was the one thing you took away from this, from our talking about creative ways to strengthen your quads. And we really appreciate you watching this and hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much, everyone. And we'll talk really soon.